Encounter is brought to you by the Broome County Council of Churches, where we connect compassion with needs as we inspire growth with dignity. You'll find us in special places throughout the community. For those who remain hungry, we provide meals. For those who are challenged, we build wheelchair ramps. We comfort those who are ill, minister to those who are confined, and we remain an advocate for change and understanding on behalf of every element of our community. Connect and inspire. Encounter the Broome County Council of Churches.
Hello and welcome to the Broome County Council of Churches Encounter program. I'm Reverend Rachel Helgeson, and I am so grateful that we get to introduce Raji Ramanan, and she is part of the Indian community of the Broome County County Councils of Churches. And the exciting thing that I am really excited to learn alongside with you is more about Diwali, which is happening on the Hindu calendar. And I'm just really grateful that our Hindu neighbors and our Indian community is willing to speak and let us know a little bit more about this faith tradition, and also how they share it with the Broome County itself, because we are part of a greater faith community together. And so thank you so much, Raji. I'm so glad you're here today with me. First of all, happy holidays. And could you tell us a little bit more about Diwali, like what you love about it, but also what you are celebrating, and what are some key points about the celebration itself?
Sure. So Diwali, very interestingly, it's a festival that has many stories attached to it. As many of you know, Diwali is we call it the Festival of Lights, and it is a yearly celebration. Falls in the October, early November kind of time frame every year. As you know, the festivals in the Hindu religion are very much linked with the face of the sun, like how it is in some of the other religions, right? So so it is the sun and the moon, the constellation, that decides when this festival falls. And it's very interesting. There are mainly two schools of thought as to why Diwali is celebrated.
Okay.
So and it kind of links with the two very big epics of the Hindu religion. You might have known of it. One is called the Ramayana, and the other is called the Mahabharata. And Mahabharata is the one which is the bigger one, or the larger one, where they fought 40 days of war. And one of the side stories of the Mahabharata, it's got like thousands of side stories to the main war story and the the people involved in the war. So there was once this demon called Narakasura, and he was threatening everybody. He would go and eat everybody's cattle and animals and poultry and sometimes human beings. He was a threat, and it is believed that Lord Krishna, one of the gods, they also call him god of valor, and a wise god who's supposed to have rendered the Bhagavad Gita, which is kind of like the equivalent of Bible in the Hindu religion. And Lord Krishna took the avatar, and in that avatar he became very powerful, and he went and killed Narakasura. And the killing of Narakasura is what we celebrate as Diwali. And there is festivities. People actually wear new clothes, and they burst fireworks, crackers as we call it. It's basically fireworks. It is a combination of things that is very nice to the eyes, but also things like like atom bombs, which makes a huge noise.
Right.
So that's kind of how there's one school of thought. And the other school of thought is, you're celebrating, Lord Rama coming home to Ayodhya. And in the epic, it is believed, and Rama went to, Lord Rama went in exile for 14 years, and he fought the war with Ramanan in Sri Lanka, and who had taken away his beloved wife Sita, and he brings Sita back. And when he comes back with Sita is when they celebrate Diwali. So in Ayodhya, the kingdom where Rama is supposed to have lived, when he brings back Sita and he comes back from exile to be crowned the emperor, in commemoration of that, they celebrate Diwali. There are lights in the streets, and people are welcoming him with fireworks and things like that. So there are two schools of thought about why Diwali is celebrated, but its celebration in Indian festival is all about wearing new clothes and having a lot of sweets and fireworks to add to the fun and the noise, so that we believe in a lot of joy that comes with all that. And so that's how it is celebrated. And we right now, when we celebrate Diwali, it is sometimes not the same day. It is that weekend because we all go to work.
Right.
So actually, this today, but there are some people who celebrated last weekend. I'm going to celebrate this coming weekend because we're going to have a family reunion in New York City, and that's a great place to go to celebrate anything. So that's what we are doing. So that's kind of the long and short story about Diwali and why we celebrate it.
So do you have any family traditions that you attach particularly to Diwali that you love and that you look forward to every year?
Absolutely. So our family tradition is we wake up in the morning, and it's kind of like who wakes up first in the morning, and sometimes it's at 12:30 a.m. Because we went from 6:30 to 5:30 to 4:30, and then we're waking up at 12:30 when it is just next day, and it's just the morning just started. And the tradition that we have, which I remember from my childhood, is we used to do fireworks. That is we call it the atom bomb, like it makes the loudest noise. And then we had the firecrackers, which are like makes noise like 5,000 of them, so you will hear the cracker crack 5,000 times, so
Oh, wow.
non-stop, tap 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 tap, it'll go stop for like a half an hour, so it is how much you spend money on how long it will go, it's that the money spent and the time that it takes is kind of directly proportionate. And our childhood used to be we'll be waiting for new clothes, and then the other thing was the crackers, the fireworks. And then the third thing was, a lot of we had my grandparents were the oldest in the family. My dad was the first son. So because they were the oldest, couple, we had the entire family, my father's, siblings, as well as cousins. They would come home. So our house will have guests starting morning 6 a.m. to the last a bunch of guests will come sometime in the evening. Throughout the day, we'll have people hanging out and, having sweets and chatting and, going to the temple in between. So it was a whole day of fun and, laughter and literally good times. And then the other very big thing in our family, the tradition was as soon as you wake up, and it's a tradition of many other families too, we actually heat up oil, and the mom gives oil massage to everybody. the women of the house will have a oil massage. She'll have cumin and pepper and ginger added to the sesame oil, heat it up, and she will actually massage. Sorry, give me a minute. I need.
Sounds wonderful. Ginger and sesame oil and oils themselves are really healing and wonderful. If you're just joining us, I am so grateful to be talking to Raji. She's from the Indian community here in Broome County, and we've been talking about one of the celebrations within the Hindu community, which is Diwali, particularly talking about the tradition itself, where it came from historically, about her own family's traditions within about Diwali, and how particularly the most recent one that she was talking about were about the firecrackers, how at the middle of the night her family wakes up and is so excited to be able to do that, but also she was just talking about the oils that the women pour on each other, which that just sounds heavenly, honestly, and just so wonderful. With the scents that she said was talking about with the ginger and the cumin, I'm sure it just made your whole house smell just so beautiful. What are some of you keep mentioning these sweets that you get to eat throughout the day. What are some of the sweets that you get to eat during this holiday and this season?
So we have laddus, which is made out of gram flour and sugar syrup.
Okay.
And we also have what we call it as cashew burfi, which is like a sweet made with cashew and sugar. And then we also have a medicinal preparation, which is made of 42 types of spices. And it's cloves and pepper and cumin and multiple things. I don't even remember the names of some of the spices. And they're all powdered and cooked with raw sugar, cane sugar, and ghee, which is like a melted butter. So that kind of finishes off everything else.
Yeah, that sounds, anything with butter and sugars and all those spices, that just sounds like it would be so delicious. Can you tell me a little bit, you mentioned how folks come in and out of the temple. What are some of the traditions that follow around that in going to the temple for those folks who have not necessarily been to a Hindu temple? What would that be like, particularly on the celebration of Diwali?
So basically it is paying homage to Lord Rama, or it paying homage to Lord Krishna. So whichever belief that you have. And in temple, it is celebrating is you're calling upon those gods and you're offering prayers, you're offering sweets and flowers and the scents, the perfume, the incense sticks. So we offer all that, and there is great celebration in the temple as well. Sweets are served, sometimes a whole meal is served. So it depends on the type of temple, and it's basically people are celebrating the demon, exiting from their world and who was creating havoc and menace. And it's all, if you actually look at it, it's the good over the evil, basically. So the sense of the right and the wrong, the good versus the evil. So it's reiterating that we live our moral lessons almost every day when we celebrate these festivals.
To remind you that goodness overtakes evil. Yeah, I think that's a pretty universal understanding, no matter what faith tradition you come from, is goodness coming over evil. So I know that we have the Indian Culture Center that's based in Vestal, New York. And I know that there's a celebration that will be open to the community pretty soon. I believe that's the weekend, you said November 5th.
November 5th.
November 5th, right? and that folks can get tickets to go to the celebration. I know that I saw that on your social media page that it was open and to the public. There are tickets because part of the celebration is what you're talking about, is having all of these pieces, the sweets, the crackers, the just the joy that you all bring, but that comes with preparation, just like
Yes.
the other celebrations. So
Yeah.
so what are things that folks could expect if they were to come to the celebration, beyond what I've described, and folks are invited, right, from the public to come?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody can join. And first of all, come in very colorful clothes, because Indian festivities are always celebrated with a riot of colors. However colorful it can be, the greens, the blues, the pinks, the yellows, so all the basic colors. And there's going to be music, there's going to be dance, and we'll have huge artwork on the ground. We just had a Rangoli competition, and we're probably going to have all those Rangolis there for people to see. Rangoli is kind of like the decoration you make with colors and flowers on the floor. So it's a work. And then, of course, the fireworks is kind of like steals the thunder. That's the most important thing we have. And so be on the lookout for anything to rejoice, your eyes, your nose, because the food is going to be like absolutely the aroma and the flavor. And then your ears, because you're going to, hear the atom bombs blast through.
Sounds like all of your senses are going to be activated. Can you tell me a little bit more about the artwork? My daughter actually, I think this summer she was at Roberson and had done not anything like what you're talking about, but they introduced them to different global artistic expressions. And I think that was one of them. They showed them in India how there are pieces made on the ground with different pieces. I'm a little more curious. I'm a little curious about that and how that connects to the celebration.
So actually, it's very scientific. How this decorating the floor came up is, in those days you didn't have like wooden flooring, or I'm talking about pre-civilization, or when we start getting civilized. There was no granite or tiles or wooden floors. So the floor was treated with basically it was treated with the you know cow dung, the excreta of the cows, and they used to make it like a paste, and it used to act like I would say a good clean, and something like how we would treat like an antiseptic. Like if you're bitten by an insect, or if you're cut by a metal, then you use antiseptic. So cotton is supposed to be having antiseptic on its own. It's a natural antiseptic, so it cleans the surface, and you add turmeric to it, and you add the calcium to it, and then all that makes it it's almost like a brick and mortar setup that you have. You make your foundation with that, and then leaving it at that is not that great, right? Because it's plain, it's no fun in that. So people started making designs and the artwork in that, and different states have different artwork. The kind of upbringing that I've had, we used to do the artwork with rice flour. We used to do dots and then do the lines which interconnects the dots, and the way you interconnect the dots is like an artwork by itself. You do a lot of curves and zigzags, and then when you look at it, it's like a design. It's like amazing how somebody came out with that design, and there are thousands of these designs. And then there are other parts where you actually use vegetable colors and dyes, to do the artwork on the floor. And it's done the same way, like there was no brush and all that. So you actually used sticks to use those vegetable dyes and, make designs on the floor. And so it was, it was clean. It was away, freed away from insects or anything that can harm you. Plus, it was also beautiful. That's how it started. And then it became, when we became modern and when the civilization came up, now we start doing those art designs on wooden planks, and the wooden planks are decorated, with flowers and, so many things now. So it's now the more curated form of art, more sophisticated form of art. But the original art came from the way I just described it to you.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you joined me today, Raji, and I have learned so much. One of my friends actually, they are in an interfaith marriage, and he's from Nepal, and so he celebrated Diwali. So that was really my first introduction to it. But I know that each area and each country and each, as you said, each region, just like different traditions have different ways of celebrating the same thing, even if it comes from the same roots. But I really appreciate our conversation, and I hope you two friends who have been joining us on the Encounter program have learned a lot about it, and that know that you are invited to the Indian Cultural Center to join and learn more, and to see some of this beautiful artwork, to hear the music, to experience the firecrackers and the food. And as you heard, all of your senses will be activated: your nose, your eyes, the sounds, the touch. What a wonderful way to be able to share and to learn, and but also to know that that's part of your faith tradition and that you're willing to share that with the broader Broome County. I'm just so grateful for you and for your faith community, and I'm glad that we could share it with the broader Broome County Council of Churches as well. Friends, again, this is Reverend Rachel Helgeson. I'm so grateful that I got to have this interview with Raji from the Indian Cultural Center, and I hope that you will join her and the Indian Cultural Center on November 5th as they celebrate formally in public Diwali, but know that Diwali is happening right now, so that you can learn a little bit more, but also participate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll have henna, so don't forget about that.
Oh, that's right. Take care.
Happy Diwali, Diwali Mubarakah.
Hello friends, wishing you a very happy Diwali. Have lots of fun and have an amazing and most prosperous Diwali, guys. But before you go, I want to give you 4 life lessons that you can take away from this amazing festival. Number 1, self-sacrifice. Now when Sri Ramchandra ji was asked to leave Ayodhya and go into exile, go into Vanvas for 14 years, he did that. He left all the luxury, all the pleasure, and went into to live into the forest. He was able to sacrifice himself. In Hindi we call it swarth, in Urdu we call it nafs. So before you have to win any war, the very first thing that you have to do is you have to win this war with yourself. You have to be able to self-sacrifice. You have to be able to keep others and the greater good above and beyond your own good. So that's one of the most amazing learnings that I actually got from this amazing festival. Number 2, persistence and determination. Now Sri Ramchandra ji was in exile for 14 years, not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years. 14 years he was in this Vanvas. Now when you are asked to go out of your home and sort of live somewhere like that, even for 14 days or 14 months, it would be too much for you. But whenever we face adversities and whenever we face challenges, our first reaction is to complain about it. Our first reaction is to give up. But he did not give it up. He was able to persistently and determinedly follow what was asked to do, and that's how he won millions of people's hearts, and that's how he actually won the final battle. Number 3 is about facing the adversities and the challenges. So it's about never giving up in the face of the adversities and challenges. Now when Ravan took Sita Maiya, it was a very distressing position, right? So think about what would happen to you, and if someone from your family is actually kidnapped like that, or even when we face smaller challenges in life, like smaller accidents, smaller losses, our first reaction is to complain about it. Our first reaction is to give it up. Our first reaction is to just say, oh, I failed in examination, my life is no good, I'm going to go for suicide, or you will go into depression, or whatever it is. But Sri Ramji's first reaction was to think about what to do next, how to get her back. So he focused on, okay, whatever the problem is, whatever the challenges are, my focus is to get her back, and he strategized on it, and that's how he was able to get her back. So whenever you face any adversities or challenges, rather than thinking about it or crying about it, you have to think about how you can overcome that challenges, how you can overcome that adversity. And number four, and the most important thing, Sri Ramchandra Ji did not went alone to Lanka to conquer this battle. He identified the need of group work and team and unity, and then he looked at the resources that were available to him, and that was the Vana Sena. So he collected like the full army, developed a full team, and then went into war with Ravan. And that actually tells you that we might think that we would be able to do a lot of things alone, but there is definitely a need in life to be able to work together with people, and you can only win with unity. So make sure that whenever you are working on something, you are working in teams, you are working together as a group, because if your group is going to succeed, if your team is going to succeed, you are going to succeed as well. If your team or your community or the people around you are not going to succeed, if they are going to fail, then you will fail as well. That applies to your country as well, that applies to your city as well. If everyone is going to do good, then and the whole country will prosper, you will prosper as well. If your company will prosper, everyone is doing good, you will prosper as well. If other people are not doing well and they are going to decline, then you will decline as well. So that teaches us the importance of the unity and teamwork. So the 4 learnings that I took from this festival is, number 1, the ability to self-sacrifice. Number 2, ability to be persistent and determined. Number 3, never giving up in the face of adversity and challenges. And number 4, the strength in the unity and teamwork. So guys, wish you a very happy Diwali. Hope you would have received this amazing message. Have lots of fun and stay motivated. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
The Encounter program is just one ministry of the Broome County Council of Churches. You may know the council through its child program, the Community Hunger Outreach Warehouse. But the council also supports chaplaincies, the jail ministry providing an effective witness pointing to God's unconditional love as a source of emotional and spiritual renewal for those who are affected by the criminal justice system. At Wilson and Binghamton General Hospitals, on-call chaplains provide confidential visits, support for family members, and advocacy with support personnel. In addition, the Council's Faith in Action ministry empowers people ages 60 and up to be involved in their community. This ministry mobilizes a network of volunteers to provide free social programs and care partnerships, and also supports the Ramp It Up program. You'll find much more at broomecouncil.net. That's broomecouncil.net.